What's happening?
How are you, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, yeah. I'm good. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah,
One thing and
it
another
has
going
been.
on. It's a long time in our worlds.
It can be. I took a bunch of time
Oh,
off,
yeah,
so
you took some time off, yeah. I remember you said that,
that's made it. Uh, and I did a lot of adulting, and I don't want it. I'm done. I had to buy a
yeah.
new. I had to buy a new refrigerator, and I had to buy uh, um, a water heater this week. So it's been like just just feels like way too much grown up shit, you know?
Oh, so what have you been, apart from that, what have you been doing this week?
Just what have I done this week? A lot of posting, a lot of clips. Just trying to meet my minimum for Facebook so I can get my 3 grand, you know, for
Mm.
the month.
You're not finding
Uh,
that difficult, though, no?
no, no, no. It's all scheduled out.
Hmm.
The money's already like the videos are all in place. They're just scheduled.
Hmm.
So it has to be done over a certain number of days, a certain number of videos. Um, so I just give them way more because every video is being boosted.
Mm.
So, it's like free traffic, right? So I'm just going, but except it's Facebook, so it's all angry boomers, you know. That's the only problem. It's all angry baby boomers. They're just angry, angry people.
You
So
think
I
that's
might pick
more
up
than you think that's more than other platforms, Facebook being the angry platform?
um I just think, you know what, I don't I think it's the algorithm. It's like, you're looking at, like, I'm just going through my page, but like they don't they don't get the humor, so they just get angry, and I think they're triggered by a lot of stuff they see online. They believe AI content is real. They're just angry, angry people, and then they get, you know one of my parodies where I make fun of, giving kind notes to strangers or whatever, and they just lose their mind because they think it's real, or they want to tell you that it's staged when it's clearly staged. Like, it's just that kind of stuff, or like, I don't know,
Mm.
it's just like angry emojis and this is disgusting and you're paving the way for pedophiles and that kind of stuff. And it's like, so I might pick up 1,000 followers, but I'll also have 1,000 angry comments in the process. Like, you have to deal with both, which is fine. I'm used to that. But it's a harder climb on Facebook than it's been anywhere else, but they're paying. So, I'm pushing old videos up. It's forcing me to make new content. So it's not a bad thing.
Mm. It is an interesting dynamic though regarding the different audience types and stuff because
Yeah.
at the same time I'm being bombarded on Facebook for suggestive, definitely AI generated um, young women content, mainly because I've been looking at it and what's going on and how people do it. But people seem to be pushing the boundaries more, and that's a complete flip side because you see, I have literally hundreds of bookmarks for this stuff, which I need to stuff through AI and help me with. But the flip side of that is on Facebook, you see what I think are people genuinely believing these are real women or girls or whatever and attempting to interact with them. And
Yeah.
yeah, um, so it's weird. And then in addition to that, I had my kind of, some people would say it's my own doing, but like you, I don't care. I've had my fair share of haters, which I haven't had in quite a while, mainly because I haven't really done anything to generate it. But yeah, I had a little episode yesterday where I got people. I told you before, I have no issue with people having any issues with what I have done, but don't start lying about circumstances and stuff. And that's the one thing I hate, which I still can't let go. But I have tried to adopt what I call my Brad responses. I will never be as good as you. I don't aim to be, but I have started replying with my own version of my taking the piss humor.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it was something or nothing really. It's, I did a deal with somebody to buy three pigeons, and he messaged me. He contacted me. I've got these available. I said, send me the pedigrees. All of the pigeons I deal with have a pedigree. He sent me the pedigrees. I said, yeah, and I was only interested in them because they're the parentage is something I haven't got here. The father of these pigeons I've got lots of, but I just hadn't got them. Anyway, whatever. So I said, yeah, did the deal, fine. I received the pigeons Wednesday, and one of the pigeons, the female, which is important, was a year older than the pedigree that was sent, and the pedigree bore no resemblance to the identification number or anything on this. It was like a completely different pigeon. I'm like, sent me the wrong bird. Oh, and then all hell broke loose. We did a deal on this, and just trying to twist and stuff. And like, I'm like, listen, just give me. And it was a slightly complicated in that I actually done the deal for two pigeons, and he said, oh, he was going to give me one to sweeten the deal. So we'd agreed on a price per bird, £500 per bird, and he was going to give me another one. Which in my head I thought, well, I can sell that, get £300 back, and I've got these Stanley 350, which was I was all right with. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, and so it's kind of like walking into a bar and ordering three beers, and um, you get two beers and a cider, and their justification is, well, you asked for three drinks, there you go. Well, no,
Right, right.
that's agreed. So then it kind of spiraled a little bit quick, and he was like deleting the images he'd sent of the original pedigree. He's trying to cover his ass, but you know what I'm like, I record everything, so I've got the original conversation, and it kind of got to a point where he's like, listen, you're not getting a refund, load of abuse, you're not getting a refund, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm like, okay, fine, but people will know about this because
Right.
it's not just not right. And then it goes to where I think, people do need to. I refuse to be, screwed over, and just the attitude, Anyway, so yeah,
Yeah.
I've had my fair share of people because I haven't really done anything within the pigeon stuff that's in any way, shape, or negative on social for ages. I only post stuff that's positive. This is the first issue I've had in quite a long time. But of course, it's an ideal excuse for my haters to jump on the bandwagon within the sport,
Right.
and yeah, they're angry, little jealous, whatever's. And so I actually, for the first time, I actually put a post on one of my websites about it. So that's there, and my website doesn't get a lot of traffic because I don't really do a lot with it. But yesterday it got like 1,200 uniques to it. It was like, so I kind of thought, well, I've done the job in that I've told people about my experiences. They make their mind up. And so I actually, for the first time, decided, you know what, I'm just going to pull all the stuff off Facebook. I'm going to delete the posts because the job's done, and I won't delete the original post on my website. That's will stay up. Um, but yeah, with mixed reactions, it's really funny how somebody like that didn't honor the deal that you agreed soon becomes and turns or wants to turn into the victim real quick. And
Yeah.
and these people don't like people standing up to them, And it's like, people said, "Oh, I've taken no fucking point in legal action for £1,000 deal. It costs you even £400 to even submit anything, and I just haven't got the time." And at the bottom of the post, I put, Am I pursuing this? No. I'll put it down as a bad deal. It's not like what I've got is useless. It's just not the deal was agreed. And am I pursuing it now? I've got the time. I've got too many more important things to be doing and whatever. And I put that. But then, of course, the guy sees it and then starts having a go again. So people don't like being stood up to in different ways.
Yeah. Well, they just don't like, they have their version of a story, and the minute your version contradicts what they believe to be the truth,
Yeah,
they
it's the
have
narrative.
to,
Yeah.
come
But
after you for it.
unfortunately for him, I had the entire thing recorded of the entire conversation, and yeah, you can't. But whatever. But then again, people don't read that stuff. It blows my mind that how many people will have actually gone and read that, or just read the headline and made their own conclusion.
Right.
But the reason I started off on that little story, which I wasn't intending to bring up, is that Facebook is, I'm lucky that I don't really deal with Twitter much with this. The platform for that particular area of my life is Facebook. And but then if you dive a little deeper into what you've just said, the angry boomers or whatever, older generation. Um, Yeah, it does fascinate me that these different platforms, obviously, it's based on age and it's based on a bunch of other demographics and whatever. And to a degree, for your stuff, it's kind of exaggerated because they are boosting your stuff up for maximum exposure and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is quite fascinating that, as I say, I don't really use Twitter much. I don't have any business or hobby need at the minute too. And anything I do put up there is kind of not anything anybody could really get emotional about. Um, but at the same time, like you said, I mean, Facebook are paying you, and
Yeah, so it's good. It's forcing me to make content. It's forcing me to do stuff, and it's not just going there. It's going on Instagram trial reels and YouTube Shorts, and so it's forcing me to stay up late and make Omega content, which is good. Um, I had a call yesterday with my Pinterest ad rep. I now have an ad rep at
oh,
Pinterest. I spent enough money, I guess. They're like, "Hey, let's have a call."
oh wow.
So,
Because we
I have
haven't
another
spoke about
call.
that in a while. We spoke about that a while ago, and you said you were going into it. So how's it
Yeah,
going?
I'm doing a great job losing money. You know,
Oh,
I'm really good. I'm really good at losing money. Um, it's but that's advertising. um, but I'm not. It's not bad. The loss is like, to give you an example. I probably spent maybe 2,000, maybe $2,000, and I've made 800 in sales. Obviously, I have costs. There's other things that so I'm upside down. However, it's not zero. And so I took the call because I said, look, I'm obviously not doing everything right. I need some guidance as to how to set this up properly and optimize this spend wise. And so they are putting me with, they're setting me up with someone. They've asked me to commit to a spend of 1,500 a month. Um,
how long?
and they've just for 1 month for now.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it's a month. It's not like a long term.
Yeah.
And they're going to give me some ad credit at the end of the month, and then they I'm going to have this rep that I deal with every 2 weeks, and they're going to kind of sort of concierge my ads somewhat for me or with me. I don't know exactly how, but um, we talked a little bit about, because what I had done is I connected my entire Shopify catalog, and the guy said, you have so many products, and he said a lot of them, he's like, you probably only have 5 or 10 that sell really, really well. And I said, yeah. And he's like, let's just focus on those, and then we can use the catalog ads for more like a retargeting. So if they visited one of your other products on your website, and I'm like, okay,
Uh,
that makes sense. So
yeah, it does
we're
matter.
going to sort of build an ad funnel, where the best selling books are where the cold eyeballs go, and then the rest of it is sort of they're funneling it into, okay, now you've shown interest. We'll show you the other stuff in the catalog. And I've noticed like a few people have commented on either Facebook or Instagram and said, "Oh, these are the books that are being advertised on Pinterest." So I'm getting a lot of views there, and I don't know like, and the other thing is that the thing I so one of the things I got to do now, because I'm tracking my sales through Amazon, which I'm making on a daily basis. I need to be able to send the Pinterest tracking codes through to Amazon. That's my next step, so that I can see how many of these people are buying on Amazon. Because if enough of them are doing it, then the ads are technically profitable. I just don't have the metrics.
Mm. What
And they
else are
also
you
narrowed
getting
me
from
down to
it
one
then?
country. What's
Oh
that?
yeah. Go on. What country are they now down to? US?
So I was doing just U.S. and Canada, and they said take Canada out. Just do one. Like he's like, which country converts the best for you? And I said the U.S. He said, okay, let's do that. It's funny. It's actually cheaper for me to send a book to the U.S. than it is within Canada.
Yeah.
Same postal Canada Post both ways.
Wow.
It's just I don't know why, but it's cheaper. So so I went with the U.S. and I'll see. And they asked me to create several pins um, that we're gonna boost as ads today. So I got off the phone with them. I created the pins. They're ready to go. I have a call at 1 o'clock. We'll see how it goes, but I'm committing to the spend. And I mean, I'd love to be able to find a profitable ad strategy for the books, and I feel like I'm getting to the stage where like it's like 188 books or whatever. Like, how many more do I need to make? I just need to sell them. Like I'll keep making them, but
Mm, mm,
that the strategy needs to be new people finding them that aren't necessarily watching reels. You
mm.
know,
It's the kind of
um,
thing to me when you get to 200, it's like, okay, that phase is done, and then you put out less, but more. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, how many do you put out at the minute?
I usually do. It's lately. It's only been one a month. My illustrator's getting slow, so
Mm.
and I don't know what he's doing, but I don't know if he's moonlighting or whatever. But he used to give me two books a month. Now he's giving me one, and I get it. I notice he's really bad with money, and I notice he just kind of at the end of the month dumps it all on me, and then it's like, I need them. Can you pay me, please, sir? Please pay, please. I need to pay my rent. I'm like, oh fuck, like, it's the fourth.
Mm.
So,
Um, yeah, I
yeah.
mean, yeah, like you say, it's about selling more. But from what you've done, and this may be a question you don't know the answer to, what else outside of dollar sales have you got? Have you seen any noticeable um, likes, subscribers, followers, whatever, within the platforms as a result of this? Like Pinterest. I don't I know the terminology really of Pinterest, but have you got momentum of people following you there or whatever they do? Do you know what I mean?
It- Pinterest is angry too, dude. It's like,
Really?
the majority of what I'm seeing on Pinterest. I'll give
I
you,
thought it was
just
like
load it up here.
70% women on there.
Yeah, but that's also a good percentage of my buyers are women.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's good. I'm just saying, you got
yeah,
angry
yeah.
Pinterest.
But a lot of them are angry. Like if I look, so let me pull it up. Brad Goss, author. I have 11 followers.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
how I you know the um last comments. This is why I never open Pinterest in public places. What are these books? I've had enough of this shit. This isn't a child's book, right? Why? Question mark. Um, I need a trusted adult. Funny. Um, TF, TF, TF. Uh,
What does that mean?
the fuck?
Okay.
Um, excuse TF out of me. Um, what? Question mark.
All right, I get the
Guys, I
message.
don't want TS. Like it's all, and then there's some stuff that's like, this is hilarious. You know, there is the odd one, but most of it is, excuse me, what the fuck is this? Who's buying this for their kid? You know, that kind of stuff. Um, and but then if I look, okay, so, but here's the real thing, right? If I pull up um, my analytics, I can, here, I'll share my screen with you. Um, analytics overview. Share. Go.
And I assume your new
Okay.
rep. Hold on, you got it.
So this is outbound clicks since I started.
Hmm.
10,000 outbound clicks. Um, this is yeah, 10,000 outbound clicks, um, 583,000 engagements or impressions. And then if you look at conversion insights for the last 90 days, what is it? I've done $895 in sales. That's four checkouts. So some big orders, which is unusual.
Mm.
Um, uh, so it actually tracks like all of the conversions for you, which is kind of nice. So yeah, just under 1,000 in sales. And then where do we go here? If we go back
It's a
to,
really big order value.
yeah, but that's again, we're talking about a pretty small test. Like that number will look a lot better when you have hundreds of checkouts.
Mm.
You have a better, like, it's too early to give it, like, it's
Yeah.
just a fluke that maybe we got a big order. I don't know, or maybe that's just the Pinterest audience. They're all big, they're like, oh, I buy a lot of gifts or whatever. Um, but yeah, you can track. So if we go impressions, like, you know, there's a decent number of people seeing my book covers every day. So that's something, tens of thousands a day.
How relevant are
Um,
the saves, do you think, to future potential revenue?
are the what? The saves?
The saves, yeah.
That's a good question. You know what? I don't know the answer to that. Let me see. Saves. Let's do the last 90 days because I've only been doing it for 90 days.
Mm.
I would imagine those are indicative of the fact that some people are going to be revisiting that content later for a reason.
Hmm.
But for some people, it's just like, these are ideas. I'm getting ideas
Mm.
here for my own thing.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't have enough data on Pinterest to say, okay, this is, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
anything really. That's why I was like pretty excited to have the call. Um, and
And what's
then
your ad reps or your concierge, whatever you call them? What's his take on? Obviously, they've gone through the specifics of focus, one country, best-selling books, but I mean, I guess it doesn't matter what the content is to them, really. But uh, I guess what I'm saying is there any difference in approach by them because of the content it is, or not? Or do you not think that's even a
no,
thing?
I don't think, no, they seem to think that the content was okay. But and sometimes they said it'll just get reported and flagged or whatever, but he said it's not, it doesn't like fall into their community guidelines issues. This is interesting, actually. I haven't really done this comparison. So this is organic. Just, so if you're not buying ads, I mean, look at the overall performance just on organic. 1,400 outbound clicks for free, right? And then if we go to paid, Uh, Now you're at 8,600 clicks are paid. So over half of the impressions are paid. But if I didn't do that, still the organic numbers, let's go back to the organic. This is all free. This overall performance, this is all free.
Mm.
And I don't know, can I see organic
I was going to
checkouts?
say, yeah, that's the
Let's
question, isn't
see.
it? What's the organic
Yeah.
checkouts?
0.
Oh, interesting.
26 add to carts, 0 organic checkouts. And if we go to paid, we have 126 add to carts and 4 checkouts.
Let's see.
So it's coming from ads, which is good to know.
But don't you think that add to cart versus checkouts is really quite striking?
Um, I don't think so. I think,
No, it's about the
lots of,
same. Yeah.
well, I have all that. I have like, systems in place to email the abandoned carts and all that kind of stuff too, right? So,
Hmm.
um, you know, but and Pinterest will know that I captured them back and they'll still attribute
Hmm.
their traffic or whatever. So, um, but yeah, I
The
mean,
organics interesting from a numbers point of view. I'm trying to figure out how that current. I mean, it is early days, so maybe it's just too early to even look into this stuff. Um, yeah, like the organic
like I have
numbers.
videos in here. I have, where are they saved? Um, I've built out like, inappropriate birthday gifts and just using the product pins. And then
Mhm.
I also did um, like these ones, these kinds of pins.
Um, the
Um,
organics interesting though because the numbers are really good, but it's just
yeah,
like what the correlation to no sales. Maybe it's just a time thing to figure that out.
but I've only been
Yeah,
doing this for 90 days.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, and I use Pinterest heavily with Vector Tunes, the clip
Mm,
art business, and that um, Pinterest was responsible for a good number of sales for free.
mm,
The advertising never worked back then for me because my prices were low and it wasn't, it was hard. It's hard to sell clip art off of Pinterest, but I had like hundreds of thousands of pins because I combined images and stuff to make unique pins, and they just let me keep putting them up, and they would drive a lot of traffic, and a lot of those people would eventually buy stuff or join the list or take something for free or whatever. So I think there's a strategy there, even if you're just putting your blog posts and feeding that in, the RSS feed from your blog post. Like you can connect your RSS feed directly to Pinterest and it'll just auto post your blog, whatever you've got.
that's interesting.
You can connect your Instagram to it and it'll pull in all your Instagram posts.
Hmm. So you're doing another 30 days with the guidance of this rep. Be interesting to see what the numbers are like specifically for that this month, if their direction does make an impact. I would hope it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume it does. So
We're getting
yeah,
into, it's going to be September soon, and that's when the book sales can start to kind of move up in the right direction. So, if I have like I'm willing to spend the money if
cool.
I think I can get it back, and I think a lot of people do their Christmas shopping on Pinterest. So, um, like you said, those saves could end up being something,
Mm.
you know.
That's the interesting part. It's kind of like delayed results potential.
But then I think I can retarget those people as well.
So
So,
you can
that's
retarget
also
everybody
something.
that saves something. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's part of the conversation is I don't understand how a lot of that ad platform works. So, um, they have their own language, you know. So
Yeah. Have you done any more with the animation stuff, or have you took a break on that?
I'm waiting for new credits to show up tomorrow. I ran out of credits, but I did. Yeah, I did a couple videos. I'm gonna do a few more this month now that once the credits come back. Um, but it's probably just going to be animating the books for now because it's easy. I have the process
Um,
dialed in for that with Claude, and um, so yeah, I'm going to be doing more of that. I've tried a few video things, but it's not. They make it look easy on their YouTube channel, but then you're like, okay, like I did this one where I just made a video, like a promo video for a comedy show where I was standing by a dumpster. And then all I said was set the dumpster on fire, and it changed me, it changed the background, it changed all kinds of shit. And I was like, what are you doing? I just want the dumpster to be on fire. And every time I did it, it gave me this like slop iteration. And I was just like, this is not what you're claiming it is. Like it's not doing what it's supposed to do. But the animation works flawlessly. So, you know,
yeah,
I'll just make sure to do
stick with that, yeah.
eat up all my credits each month on animations.
Mm. Hmm.
Like just put it in the calendar and do it, you know? I got a book
Yeah,
recommendation for you.
go on.
It's called Gonzo Capitalism, and it's all about the post-pandemic world of finance, which moves fast. You know, crypto, prediction markets, all that kind of stuff. And do you have access? Do you have prediction markets in the UK? Like, do you have access to like poly market kind of stuff,
There's
or
ways around it, yeah.
yeah, we have it unregulated in Canada, or it's been sort of not unregulated, but it's been regulated in Canada now, where one of the big finance companies is doing prediction markets. And so I've been playing around with it. Like they had one thing where you could bet, and I lost. I bet that Bitcoin wasn't going to break 70K this month, and then it did. So I
Um,
lost, and then I bet. I've also have a bet that Apple will release the iPhone 18 before the end of the year because they're saying they're not going to. So I bet that they will because they seem to always do it. Um,
what's the odds on that prediction market? Because that to me is a no-brainer for September.
that's what I thought, but it's actually like I'll tell you where it's at right now. It's at so you have will Apple release the iPhone 18? When will Apple release the iPhone 18? Before 2027 is 13% odds.
Huh?
And so, but the weird thing is that like you can also bid no on that, right? So you can say yes, I think it's going to come out before October 27, or sorry, before the end of the year, or no, I don't. So you can bet it for or against anything. And a lot of the like against is almost easier. Like, it's like you can kind of pick what you're betting against. Um, and a lot of the time you're dealing with people who are making hopeful bets as opposed to educated bets, and so betting against them is easy. So he talks a lot about that kind of stuff, and he talks about crypto. He talks about crypto gaming, live streaming, all these different sort of new ways that money is made unconventionally at crazy speed and scale. And it really,
Convo capitalism, how to make money in an economy that hates you.
um, it's on Audible if you do Audible a lot of
Hmm.
your books. Um, it I didn't know what to expect from it, but it gripped me right away. And then I was like, okay, this is interesting. This guy's, um, he's not he's very unconventional with the way he's looking at this stuff. Um, and it's because a lot of people are dismissing these things, whereas he's kind of like, okay, so I tried it. I tried this. I tried this. I did this. Here's what I did. And it's a lot of, he's taking a journalistic approach to experimenting with weird, like crypto gaming and, NFTs and whatever. Like, he's like just, scientifically exploring them, which is kind of cool.
Interesting is I'm already following him on Amazon. Hmm.
He has a couple of other
Yeah,
books. I'm
yeah,
probably going to check
yeah,
them out once I'm done this one, but
yeah. I'm gonna get
I
that.
found
Sounds
myself repeating
fascinating.
chapters. Like I'm like, oh, this is okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm in the
Well, you
car
know that's a
listening to
sign
it.
That's a sign of a good book if you're doing that.
Yeah.
Huh.
But it's up our alley. It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
alternative finance, which we're both big fans of. So
That's interesting, mate. I'll grab it. Um, yeah, I had dinner with Toby on
oh yeah.
Tuesday night. Yeah, yeah. He's yeah. So I had a good catch up with him, and I was telling him some of my theories or ideas towards the latter stages of our dinner. I was telling him some of the theories and ideas I've got with regards to AI and the whole fans model and all that stuff. And yeah, he he said, well, funny enough, one of the one of the mums who goes to my he said my son's friends with her daughter, and she's OnlyFans model.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Good job, mommy.
Well, their kids go to a very good school around here, so yeah. So that was quite an interesting thing. And then yesterday, I don't know, I can't even remember her name. I've never watched episode or a minute of Harry Potter in my life. There's a woman, British woman here who was in Harry Potter, whatever, 20 years ago, whenever it was. Again, don't know who she is. Um, she wasn't like one of the lead roles, but she was in it. And she started doing OnlyFans um, in her own style. And they was showing video clips of her brushing her hair and stuff. And it's quite fascinating. She's quite fascinating to listen to her because she said, everybody thinks, oh, you're in Harry Potter, you must be, you know, doing well and all that stuff. That's 20 years ago, you know? Um, she said I didn't even cover my Edinburgh Fringe um, stint she did last year because it's just so expensive. I didn't even cover it. And I'm like, I've got kids and I need to do something. And she did it and she's been doing it 18 months and she's doing very well with whatever it is she's doing, which is not the normal OnlyFans stuff, but it's not. But I think reading between the lines, she probably got a bit of press. You know, Harry Potter actress is on OnlyFans. I can imagine that would have
Yeah.
got, yeah. Um, yeah, that book sounds, yeah, it was written in 23, which that's quite interesting because prediction markets weren't a thing then,
Oh, but I
really.
think
Really?
Polymarket was. Yeah, I
You
think
reckon?
Polymarket was in the US. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Mm.
I think it was just at the birth though. I think it may
Mm.
have been because he was talking about how he had to send them crypto, so I think it was early days,
Oh, all right. Okay.
unregulated. Which is, I like that he talks about the unregulated, the fast, why it moves so quickly and how risky it is, but how the reward potential's high. And
Mm.
um yeah, it's good. It's good.
I'll get it, mate. Thank you. I really do need to embrace Audible more. Yeah. I'm going to get it on Audible.
What do you listen to in the car?
I listen to music mainly, mate. I do need to get, I don't, if the harsh reality is, I don't actually go far in my car. I get stressed going to the local town, you
Right.
know, I'm old like that. The idea of, I can't remember where it was, so Gabby travels to London every week and I'm like, so I monitor obviously in a nice way to see how the journey's going and stuff. And that stuff, I can get stressed going through the local town, which is not a big town in shape or form, but to me, it's just too busy. The reality is, I don't really go very far to get, and any long distances I do, I kind of use it as thinking time, and I do need to shift my positioning on that because I know with things like Audible and stuff, I could probably be using my time off. On any longer journeys, I definitely do use it for like thinking time, which is never not me just thinking of any old crap. It's always normally business or whatever idea is related. And I kind of use that same as I do when I'm walking the dogs, really. But I do feel like I'm losing out by not tapping into my Audible catalog that I've got. It's a bit weird why I'm in that position. I don't know. So it's like I'd be very tempted to get the book of this, the paperback. But then realistically, I think to myself, when are you actually going to read the thing? You know, it's all you. I don't know if you've done it before, bought books, and 12 months later, you're still sitting there, you know, read them. Something like
Yeah, I do
this.
it all the time.
Yeah. So I'm thinking if I can push myself into doing Audible. So it's like when I'm in the
Once you start
office.
the Audible, you'll be like, "Oh, I like this," and then you'll continue.
Yeah,
You won't have to force yourself. If you start it, give yourself five
yeah,
minutes with it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I like this," and then you'll want to hear it. You'll be like making time for it. You'll be like, "Oh, I'll listen to that while I'm doing the pigeon stuff or whatever," and you'll
yeah.
just be like, okay, now I have to listen to this.
Yeah, it's
That's what
like
will happen.
Gabby's heavily into podcasts. You know, she can be out and gone, or even coming back from London, commute, whatever. She's podcast specific podcasts. So I need to get, yeah, I do need to embrace Audible because one, I've got a can catalog galore, and two, I'm missing a trick. And so yeah, I'm going to get the Audible of this, and I'll make this my first. The trouble with me is I like music so much. So like today in the office today, I've had music on in the office all day, and
Right.
that's a good thing for me today. Whereas maybe I need to. I don't know how my brain would work though, listening to an Audible while I'm working.
You can't do it while you're working. You have to be doing
Uh,
something passive. Like for me, driving's ultimate because I
hmm
can't multitask, right? So you have me as a captive audience. I spend a lot of time in the car because I do, my like Toronto's an hour away, right? So
Yeah,
every
yeah,
gig is an hour away. And I do a fair amount of driving. So,
yeah,
and when I do, it's a long time, even
yeah.
if it's 10 minutes. Like last night, I drove Mira to a party. I didn't make her listen to it, but when I went to pick her up from work, it's like a 10-minute drive. I just listened to the book for 10 minutes and then, like it's, you don't need to, you can consume it in bits.
I was going to say
Like a lot.
you feel like it's easy to pick up where you left off with 10-minute slots and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not, each chapter he's talking about a certain thing and he's kind of just telling you a story of his journey through that particular model. And a lot of it you'll understand intrinsically. So you don't, it's not like he's teaching you new things. He's just explaining to you in a more scientific way that some of the things you already know about, but it sort of ignites you to think a little differently. Like, you know, I've, I've definitely decided to make more bets in these prediction markets over the next little while just for fun. Because it's, the there's a lot of sure bets that you can make, and you think they're sure, like the iPhone one, and so and maybe I'm wrong, but
Well,
I'm not betting the farm.
the market would tell us we're wrong. But you know, as the first one you've told me about, I cannot see how we could be wrong on that. Now, flip side of that is you've got 87% of people saying no
Yeah,
against us.
but you can also bet on Oscar winners. You can bet
Yeah, yeah.
on temperatures at the end of the day. You can bet on rainfall. You can bet on all kinds of anything that is publicly logged and easily tracked. You can bet on.
Mm.
And a lot of it is there are, what this guy talks about is there's a lot of sort of 80 to 90% bets where you can make money because you're just betting on the sure thing, not the risky thing. And or a lot of them are like a lot of the negative bets are like, he looks at a presidential primary where there's like 20 candidates, but only one person can win. And you kind of know the person who's going to win is going to be one of these three people, and you can bet against the rest of them, and you might only make 20% returns, but it's like easy money, right? And it's like he's placing a whole bunch of these bets, and then even if he loses one or two, if he, you can
Yes.
only lose, he can only
Hedging
lose one of
against,
them.
you know.
you know?
Yeah, he's hedging, isn't he?
Yeah, so there's some odds to be played, and the thing is, this prediction market that I'm using, which is put out by Wealthsimple here in Canada, is called
Mm.
Wealthsimple Predict. They're brand new, so their odds are a little fucked up because they don't have a lot of players in the game yet. You know,
Mm. Well, I've
like
just
will
signed up for
will
Polymarket.
2026 be the hottest August ever? Yes, 90%. No, 10%. Um, it's all this random stuff. How high will BTC get in August? Above 80 grand now is 63% odds. Above 82.5 is 36% odds.
Mm.
Um, Bitcoin, all kinds of Bitcoin prices, and it's like you can choose end of the month, deals. So it's like you can bet on stuff or you can bet on end of the year stuff like
Oh.
um, you know,
Bitcoin's 23% up in 7 days. It's sitting at 777 too. So fucking not a bad bet. It's going to hit 80, albeit temporarily.
everything's up.
Mm.
Solana's up, Ethereum's everything's up.
Yeah. Well, it's just
Gold
let
and
me sign
silver.
up. It's just let me sign up on Polymarket. And oh no, no, I'm on a Portuguese VPN. I forgot I'm on a VPN, so that's no indication of UK related stuff. Yeah. But then I have to, by trading, you agree your terms, you test you are not a US person and not located in the US and are not resident or locale of a restricted jurisdiction. Yeah, interesting. Huh. Be interesting to but that's quite powerful what you just said, that with the one you're using, it's a pretty new market, the whole
Mhm.
thing. That's yeah.
The more betters you get in the game, the more
Mm,
even out the odds get a
mature it is.
little closer to reality. But I don't know. I think there is money to be made in these things. Like I really do. I feel like it's. I have a friend who's like very wealthy, older guy, investor. He's done very well for himself. Tens of millions of dollars, and I tried to get him in on Bitcoin, and he was just like, nope. When it was like $200, he was like, nope.
Mhm,
And he's still like, it's crazy. He thinks all
mhm,
crypto's crazy, and he's a very smart guy, but he's old school. He has that thought process. He doesn't even believe in like gold and silver hedging. He's like, he's all about you know dividend stocks and these types of things, and he's done well.
mhm,
And he plays the markets, and he's very smart. He's very good at I think to like a Rain Man level, he's like really good at looking at everything. He won't touch any of this stuff, and I get it. It's risky, but it's also like there's very few places where you can turn $100 into 10 grand. With this kind of ease, but you can also turn 10 grand into $100.
yeah. Well,
So you
it's
have
like
to be willing to put up with the risk.
it's his. So with regard to the guy you're talking about specifically, there's that's potentially just a mentality thing. That he's like old school, more old school way of doing things. It could be that he thinks, well, I don't want the hassle, or it's not worth the because I just don't need it. I don't know. You know what I mean? There could be a multiple
He
thing. I would
believes
guess.
he believes Bitcoin goes to zero at some point.
I know people like that. Yeah, I know a guy
Yeah.
here locally. I had a conversation with him. Very wealthy guy at the time, still is to a degree. Conversation in the bar, and would not have it. Would not. I'm talking when Bitcoin was, I don't know, $2,000, whatever,
Right.
that kind of timeline. Would not have it. Um, so yeah, but again,
But for me, I'm much more. And I think because of how we got started, we both kind of dipped our toe in this water early on of scale and insane numbers, or
Mm.
in our 20s, making millions of dollars. I think there's a it kind of fucks with your wiring a little bit,
It
and so
does, and there's something still in the
you
back of your
become a bit
head.
of a gambler.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, to different degrees, which, yeah, a lot of them haven't paid off in the latter years for me, but I still have that seed in my head, that, and you see, now I call them kids, but you see some insane, legitimate numbers with this kind of stuff. And yeah, they're going to get highlighted. And yeah, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people that have lost their ass. Um, but I think
Like
that's
you and I made like 10 grand in a day not long ago. You know what I mean? It was
yeah,
just like
yeah.
sitting there watching it. It was insane. And that is kind of an addictive,
It is
and it
addictive,
was
but then
it's unexpected. It happens, and you're like, what the hell's happening? And you're just watching it go, and you're like, where's the roof on this? Like,
but then you look at it and say, you and me say, well, how the hell can we scale and replicate this thing? And we,
yeah,
at the time, for various reasons, couldn't come up with the answer. Um, yeah, but yeah, I think our nature is we'll always be attracted to looking into stuff like this.
yeah,
I even looked at, I still want to do my pigeon betting thing. And I looked at prediction markets and the ability to be able to bring that in for that, because that's a whole other um, ball game within what I want to do. In that, it's not as seasonal, the conventional pool betting as it used to be. It's You can pretty much drag it over 12 months, and increasingly it's just gonna, there's always stuff going on. um but that prediction market would be fascinating within this little niche I want to eventually do, because that opens up a whole other ball game within the niche.
right.
Yeah, to where you could always have something going on. My backup plan was, not backup plan, but my add-on to the platform was going to be get pigeon themed games and stuff to do. But then you look at the prediction markets. Yeah, so it is fascinating.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know where they're at in the US. I haven't really kept up to speed with it, with regulation and stuff.
no idea.
No, I don't either. So, all right. So, what's the plan next week? We'll resume normal. We'll resume normal. But yeah, what you've got to do is you've got to figure out how this Pinterest stuff goes. That's obviously an interesting thing. No,
That's
I
in a
wasn't
couple hours.
talking.
We'll have the next call in a couple hours. We're going to be setting up the ad funnel and shut up.
Sorry.
You
Yeah.
tell her to shut up. You tell her to shut up.
So yeah. So well, we'll see what happens. So you've got a call later on. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
So, shut up.
You shut your mouth.
I have some real fallouts with the one in the kitchen. It's the oldest Alexa machine. It's one of them really big, tall, metal, cylindrical
Yeah,
things. It's still working,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I have some fallout sometimes with that one. All right, well, let's see how that one goes, and then we'll catch. We'll resume next week.
Yep.
Catch you next week, folks. Thanks for watching, listening.